and shook her head. Vaughn's lips tightened. "They both asked you out?" "Yes," I said. "They're both assholes." "I thought you liked Christian. Both of them," I said. He looked at me like he wanted to say something, but instead he just shrugged. "You snooze, you lose, Sheridan," Skyler said to him. "What are you talking about?" I asked her. She kept her eyes on the road, but there was an aggravating smile on her face, like she knew something I didn't. I looked back at Vaughn. He was blushing. For a second, I wished I could read his mind, but it wasn't possible, not even for a Mariotti witch like me. I could feel warmth on my own face, too. Vaughn's single for the first time in forever. It shouldn't make a difference, but it did. It felt riskier somehow. For the first time, I noticed Vaughn was more dressed up than usual. He wore a gray button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up and jeans that fit him perfectly. I leaned back in the passenger seat and closed my eyes. "I'm glad we're hanging out tonight." "Me too." I heard the smile in Sky's voice, and I felt warm inside knowing I'd put it there. There had been something off about her the past few weeks. I had blamed it on her breakup with Connor, but maybe it was more than that. Skyler put on a song from a band I'd never heard of. "Play The Drainers," she commanded, and the voice-activated playlist started. We listened in silence for a few songs. "The Drainers?" I asked. "They're a newer band. Don't you just love them?" she asked, which meant she wanted me to like their music. I did not like their music. In the back seat, Vaughn snorted, but cut it off when Skyler glared at him in the rearview mirror. "Vaughn's a music snob, but I thought you'd like it," she told me. Vaughn wasn't a snob, not really, but he was a talented musician and pickier than most. "Emo's not really my thing right now," I settled for a polite but evasive answer. It wasn't strictly true. Emo was my thing if it was done well, which this was not. The lead singer hadn't found a note he didn't like, even the off-key ones. She bounced in her seat, in no way fazed by my lack of enthusiasm. "It will be." The party was off Mulholland, and Skyler took the turns with reckless abandon, which made talking for the next 10 minutes nearly impossible, as my stomach was firmly lodged in the back of my throat. When we pulled up, there were cars lining the street. Skyler circled the block, but there were no parking spots to be found within a mile radius. She stopped at a red light and turned to me. "We're going to be late," she said. She had tears in her eyes, which seemed extra, but she'd been more emotional lately. "Do that thing you do," she begged. "Skyler, you shouldn't ask her that," Vaughn said sharply. "It's not a big deal," I said. "Your granny wouldn't want you to use your magic on this," Vaughn pointed out. He was right. My grandmother would be disappointed in me if I used my powers for something so trivial as a parking spot. But my friendship with Skyler wasn't trivial, and she rarely asked me for anything. "Please, Tansy," she said. She was my best friend, and it wasn't like she was asking me to turn her ex into a toad or anything. There was magic in the world if you knew where to look. Finding a parking spot in LA required luck and sometimes a little magic. My two friends were the only ones at school who knew I was a witch, and neither of them had ever needed me to prove it. But I had needed it, so I'd shown them what I could do. It hadn't been a big deal the first time I'd done magic in front of them, but for some reason it felt like it was tonight. That if I used my magic right now, it would change the course of the night. But I decided to do it anyway. "Go around the block again," I said. "Slowly." Skyler squealed, knowing she would be getting her way. Thank you," she said. The fervent note in her voice gave me pause, but I closed my eyes and concentrated on the spell. We were back to the party location. At first, I thought the spell hadn't worked.